I'm Danny.
And I'm Nick.
Welcome back to my channel. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new, subscribe down below. Today we're going to be doing a recruitment for fraternities at the University of Alabama because I recently uploaded one on the sorority recruitment process and some boys were asking questions about fraternities, so I brought my boyfriend in to answer some questions. He was in a fraternity at the University of Alabama, so I thought he'd be a great person to ask these questions to. The first question is there an overall process for boys getting into fraternities? Is there an official start date? And how does that go for guys?
There really isn't an official process necessarily. It starts in the spring and goes all the way until really the first 2 weeks of the school year. However, as far as the official start date, they do have one that's set, and that's August 20th through the 22nd. That's when you can meet the rush chairs in all the different fraternities. You can tour the houses. So you're really you're very similar to the girls where they can go around and do their whole thing like Danielle talked about in the other video. But there is not a formal process to go through.
What if someone's out of state and they're not coming in the summer to these parties?
Well, hopefully if you're out of state, you at least have one chance to visit the school. I would recommend you try to get the most out of your trip as far as while you're there visiting, for the academics, those types of things, you try to contact some rush chairs beforehand so that you can at least meet a few. At the minimum, go around and look at the different houses, try to figure out where you might see yourself and wanting to pursue, and then at least be able to contact them afterwards when you're home. You just really want to get the most out of your visit. If you don't have the opportunity to visit at all, then I would just online try to reach out to as many people as you can and communicate that way. And then so when you do come and you are there your first week of school, you feel like you have lay of the land and have people to go talk to versus having to do all that once you're there.
How much does it cost to be in a fraternity at the University of Alabama?
So it's going to be different based on your fraternity. However, a good average is probably between $3,500 to $4,000. It is expensive. That does include your meals, so that's 3 meals a day. So that does help a little bit, but nonetheless, it is expensive.
I know for girls there are strict policies about what to wear during the recruitment process. How is that for boys? Is there something specific to wear, and how does that go?
For guys, there's nothing really specific to wear. I would say there's probably a few things you shouldn't wear. Don't necessarily wear letters if you had fraternity letters if you had an older brother or friend. Probably try to avoid things like cargo shorts. But besides that, don't dress up too much or anything. Wear to the occasion. If you're going to a baseball game, wear what you'd wear to a baseball game. If you're going rafting, wear what you do to that. If it's a Hawaiian themed party in the spring, wear, a lei or something like that.
Does everyone get into a fraternity? How does bidding go for boys?
It's going to depend if you have a few fraternities that you're really pursuing, just hedging your bets or something like that. You could end up getting multiple bids. Definitely not going to get, a bid from every fraternity just like you wouldn't from a sorority. It's really going to be the ones that you're spending probably the most time with. Not everyone's going to get into a fraternity, so there is a chance that you might not get into one.
So speaking of bids, how do you go about accepting a bid?
So the process is typically it's going to come from the rush chair is going to actually be the one giving you the bid. A lot of times there kind of be a lot of celebration around it because they want to, it's a fun thing, you're getting your bid. And then you really have 3 choices. You can accept the bid, you can hold the bid, or you can basically decline it. The time periods is May 1st is when you can actually officially accept the bid per University of Alabama, and those become official September 6th. And by that means you have to sign up online, you have to get into the IFC system. That's just so that they can keep track of who all the members are going to be coming in to that fall pledge class. So you want to go ahead and sign up online. However, with the fraternity, it's going to be a little bit unofficial when it's happening, but just by September 6th, you want to go ahead and go online and actually accept your bid officially. One more thing I'd like to say about accepting a bid, do not feel necessarily pressured to accept it. A lot of people hold, especially like we mentioned earlier, a lot of people will get more than one bid, so don't feel a ton of pressure. You can say, thank you so much, I want to talk to my dad about it, or whatever you want to say. I mean, sometimes it's a big family decision if you have a legacy or something like that. So you can always hold the bid. You cannot accept multiple bids. So don't accept one bid and then go accept another one from another fraternity. If you accept it, you accept it. But if you're courting more than one, then you need to hold it.
Can people rush in the spring or after their freshman year at the University of Alabama?
The majority of people are going to rush in the fall of their freshman year. However, If you want to wait to the spring, there are some fraternities that do offer spring pledgeship, so I would definitely check with the different fraternity before that, but some do offer spring. And if you want to rush your sophomore year, or I guess you could even do it your junior year, you can do that. Whether you're a transfer student or you just decided not to do it your freshman year and kind of wanted to get the lay of the land, you could certainly wait to do that. I knew some people that did it, and they had no problem rushing as sophomores.
I know for girls, we are recommended to get letters of recommendation. Is that a thing for rushing in a fraternity as well?
There's no real formal letter of recommendation. However, legacy can play a big part into it. So whether it's your father or some other family member or a close family friend, any type of connections can help. I mean, it is a competitive thing getting into the different fraternities, especially the bigger ones. It can be competitive. So any little edge, whether that's a letter of recommendation, whether that's a phone call, whatever it might be, that can certainly help.
When you show up to participate in Rush for the fraternities, how do you decide which ones to go to? And if you were to receive multiple bids, how do you go about choosing which one is the best fit for you?
Well, for people that have the luxury of knowing somebody that's attended relatively recently or that's currently going there, certainly you can ask them to try to get an idea about the different fraternities' reputations and where you might see yourself fitting in. If you don't have that, unfortunately, you probably just need to talk to as many different people as you can once you do arrive on campus or when you're visiting, and just visit as many as you possibly can in the early, and you should get a sense pretty quickly if these are the type of people you'll fit in with. Each fraternity is going to have kind of their own culture, and you're going to see that relatively quickly. So during that official August time, the 20th through the 22nd, that's when you can probably have a good idea to narrow down your list and where you want to spend your time. After that, once you've gotten your bids, choosing, again, it's the same type of thing. I would go where you see yourself fitting in the most and the people you're going to get along with, because especially your pledge class, you're going to be spending a ton of time with those 30, 40, 50 guys. You need to like them. You need to feel like you have shared type of beliefs, that type of thing. At the end of the day, it's your personal choice. Go where you feel most comfortable.
That's the ins and outs of going through recruitment for fraternities at the University of Alabama. I want to thank Nick for coming on to answer all of these questions for you guys today. If you'd like to see a video on what it's like after you get a bid and pledgeship, we can do that for you. So leave any questions you have in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.